What's up, YouTube? This is Freddie Bad Boy here. I wanted to respond to a gentleman who responded to one of my comments I made on his video. Sir, I didn't catch your name, but he's from the channel Go Hard or Go Home. So to the guy that runs that channel, I apologize for not addressing you by your name, even though you addressed me by mine. I didn't catch your name, but my name is Freddie Bad Boy, right? And then also, I realized how ratchet my comment looked on your in the comment section with the claps and all that. I didn't mean for it to come off like that, like I was being ratchet or confrontational. I don't know what I was thinking of. Like I had a completely different vibe in my head than when I made it sound like that. I wasn't trying to be ratchet. I wasn't trying to be rude. So no disrespect there. But I wanted to tell you because I disagree with you. But I think the disagreement is based off of, well, first let me just get to the comment. I basically told you the game is not about women. And it's not. The game is absolutely not about women. I'm about to explain to you why. But first we need to define what game is, right? And listening to some of the things you said in your video, I think you got the wrong idea about what game actually is. And it's not your fault. There's a lot of bozos online that use that term, right? And they're not spitting game at all. In fact, most of them. If you point me to 10 videos where guys are talking about game, at least 9 of them, if not 10 of them, got no fucking game. And they're absolutely spitting no kind of game at all, right? The word game has been repackaged, right? Like you said. But not everybody who's online spitting game and talking about game repackaged it, right? The vast majority did. Those guys you point to, the examples you give for game, right? And the reason why you believe it's about women, those guys are making it about women, but they got no game. They're not actually spitting game. Game is like this, right? Game is like karate, right? I'm a martial artist, so I do a lot of martial arts, analogies. Game is like karate. If you ever seen karate lately, you walk into a gym next to your local ShopRite in a strip mall somewhere, it'll be a fat, bald, old white guy teaching karate who don't know shit about karate, right? It sucks. They're not sparring. You know what I'm saying? It's so far removed from the original sport. Like, if you go back to the old days, right, in Okinawa, where karate comes from, you go to the mountains of Okinawa, post-World War II, you'll get a completely different art. These guys were slamming their fists through bricks. These guys were really sparring, really fighting, and they actually had some fight skills. If you take one of those guys, right, take them down to your local strip mall dojo where they're giving out black belts to 5-year-olds, where they're barely ever sparring, and when they do, it's like glorified slap boxing. He'll be like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? This ain't karate. That's like game, though. Game has been bastardized along the way, right? The original term game, it came from pimps in the 60s, 70s, in the 50s. It came from pimps back in the day, right? And their knowledge, like they coined the term game. They didn't create game. Game comes from game is like an ancient wisdom that could be traced back to the Bible. There's a lot of game in the Bible, dog. You know what I mean? But the word game came from the pimps. And what happened was pickup artists in the 90s took that word and took some of the knowledge from the pimps that they didn't even really understand. They weren't fully grasping the depths of what game actually is. They were just looking at it at the surface level of like, oh, this is how I can control women. This is how I can get laid. This is game. And then they were formulating these weird philosophies and psychologies behind how to get at a woman, how to talk to a woman at a bar, how to neg, and all these fucking words they invented and all this nonsense. And then they wrote books, and then they called it game. The PUA movement went underground, right? Because they started getting exposed for the fucking charlatans that they are, right? And then that became repackaged into the red pill manosphere movement, which you're talking about. That's the vast majority of the manosphere online is guys from the red pill who are repackaging all of that nonsense that the pickup artists were talking about, right? But that's not really game. Understand, that is the karate that you saw next to ShopRite with the fat, bald, old white guy teaching it. That's not real game. You understand? So I don't blame you for thinking that game is about women, because those people, they absolutely make it about women. So if you're talking about the vast majority of the red pill and the manosphere, I agree with you that they're making it out to be about women, which makes it difficult for guys like me, guys like Lucario, right? Who I got a lot of knowledge from. Lucario is a dude who I am influenced by, among others, people who gave the game to me growing up. We don't associate with the red pill and with the manosphere. We laugh at them. In fact, if you look at some of Lucario's videos, Lucario is laughing at the red pill and the manosphere and going back and forth with them and debating them and shutting them down, basically teaching them about what the game really is about. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first point I wanted to make, is that all of this nonsense with the red pill and the manosphere, that's not the game. That's not really the game. They're making it about the women, but they don't understand the game. So it's not fair to lump all of us into the same category. Let me explain to you what I really meant when I said the game is not about women. The game ain't about women, right? It's about you. It's about you as a man. Because as men, we're the leaders, right? We're the ones who are burdened with the responsibility of creation, right? A man creates a relationship with a woman. A man creates life. If you think about the sex process, we got to get our dicks hard. We have to foster a situation that leads towards the woman becoming a mother, right? Towards children being born, even down on a microscopic level. The sperm does all the work. What does the egg do? Exactly, right? So on a macro level, the man is the one approaching the woman. It's not because she's the prize or because it's all about her. No. So part of the game is teaching men how to be effective leaders and how to handle themselves in a relationship. And this is the part where men fuck up the most. This is the Achilles heel of men, is dealing with women. There'll be a man in every other aspect of their life except for when it comes down to a woman. And then you can fuck your life up. So the real game, right? The real game and the fake game, the manosphere, their job is, they're really out here trying to teach guys, even though the manosphere, they don't do a good job at it. But their job is to teach men how to not fuck their lives up and how to forge successful relationships with women, how to be successful, right? But understand, it's not about the woman. It's about you, right? Game is about knowledge of self. Game is divine masculinity. If you want to get real deep, it's really about divine masculinity. It's about knowledge of self, understanding who you are, what you want, and living life on your terms 100%. And as men, we still want to have sex, right? So it's about teaching men, as pertains to women, right? It's about teaching men how to navigate that world of wanting to have sex and not get caught up in the woman, right? So you said in your video, it's about trying to get the woman to like you. Absolutely not. Yeah, the pickup artists, they're trying to get the woman to like them. But guys with real game, nah, we're not out here trying to get the woman to like us. Because it's not about what you like. It's about what I like. I'm trying to see if I like you. And I'm trying to look for the women who actually like me. So if I step to a chick and I'm like, oh, she's cute, and she ain't really feeling me like that, she's not doing what I say, she's not acquiescing to me, right? Then I'm not feeling her, right? It's never about getting the woman to like you, because that suggests that you automatically like the chick from the get-go to a point where you're trying to get her to reciprocate and like you. If that's what you think, then you got no game. All due respect. And I'm not saying that's what you do, right? I'm saying that's what these guys do. These pickup artists, these manosphere guys, these red pill guys. They don't know themselves, and they just throw themselves at any woman. And they're really all about trying to get the woman. Whereas guys with game, you got to get me. And I am stepping to you, allowing you the opportunity to get me. Because that's what leadership is. As a man, we're the leaders. So we lead from the beginning, right? Women don't step to men. Men step to the women, right? Men are the ones who would do the approaching. Not because the woman's the prize. Not because it's about her. But because we're the leaders and we initiate the process. You know what I'm saying? So, another thing you said was, it's about women because a lot of guys step into the space, right? Because they want to get better with women. I agree with you there. A lot of guys do come to, whether it's red pill, the manosphere, or try to learn actual game. A lot don't. A lot of people just want to become better men, because that's what game really is about, becoming better men. So I don't want to take nothing away from those guys. But a lot of dudes really do step to the space trying to understand women better, trying to navigate the dating world and trying to understand some of the failures they had in it. So they step to the game from that context, right? But understand that still doesn't make it about fucking women. You know what I mean? Because it's like, again, another martial arts analogy. When I first started training martial arts, right? When I first stepped into a gym, it was to defend myself. I was getting bullied. I was small, you know? I lived in a tough neighborhood where people were fighting and trying to fight me and shit. I wanted to learn how to be tough. I wanted to be manly. So I saw the martial art as, oh, they're talking about fighting. This is all about fighting, right? Until you get to training the martial art, right? And you realize that this ain't really about fighting, dog. Because after a while, you see that it humbles you, and the character that you build in the gym from constantly sparring with tough guys, constantly going back and forth with killers, right? It turns you into the point, it forges the manhood in you where you don't need to address your bullies no more. You don't need to, you don't feel the need to want to fight no more. You know what I mean? Because I proved all the shit I needed to prove in the gym. So now it's about character development. Now it's about becoming tougher. Now it's about building these techniques for the sake of building techniques. It ain't about fighting. You know, I still train martial arts to this day, and I haven't been in a fight in 15 years. More than that, right? Not even so much as a scuffle. So it's never about fighting for me. And if you are a new white belt, right? That's a white belt mentality. Stepping into the game thinking that it's about fighting, and step into the game thinking that it's about women. You're looking at it from the surface level, right? It's never about the woman. And understand, anybody that's making it about the woman, they don't got no real fucking game. Because understand that as a man, it's about you. It's about your mission that's based off this knowledge of self, and then living your mission to the fullest. And when you live your mission to the fullest, the self-love that you develop from being a man about your mission, that carries over to the relationship with the woman. So when you step to a woman and you see that she's not about you, you're going to kick her to the curb. Even though she's willing to offer you pussy. It's no longer about that at that point. Because you got game. It ain't about your pussy. It's about me and being a part of my mission. That's the prize. Not your actual pussy. This is the prize over here. So you're more willing to get rid of women that don't fit because they're not acquiescing to you and they're going to be a detriment to your mission. That's game, my friend. So again, it's never about the woman. It's about me as a man.